I'm trying to do both young and seniors. I would firstly remind of the message of the Federico Mayor, the former Director General of UNESCO, who yesterday explained why UNESCO is a relevant topic for this conference, both for the first day conference and today. UNESCO was formed just after the World War II with a noble mission to prevent peace or simply to strengthen peace through intergovernmental cooperation in education, science and culture. This is, I imagine, what all of you are aware of. So UNESCO has a great mandate and a great responsibility. I'm speaking as a federal councillor of UNESCO Federation of France. I have a triple affiliation to UNESCO. The second one is that I'm the founder and honorary president now of the Sorbonne University UNESCO Club. And triple is that I'm a former member of the Serbian delegation to UNESCO. Secondly, I would like to say in a few words what we are doing in France, in UNESCO Federation of France. It is under the auspices of the National Commission for UNESCO of the French Republic that this federation functions, with the financial support of the Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Education, and UNESCO, of course. We have 200 UNESCO clubs, centers, chairs, and UNESCO territories in France, and peace building is one of the main objectives, and what we are doing nearly all the time through education, culture, or science. I saw that it was mentioned that the 21st September celebration of the Day of Peace was reminded previously, and this is what we did last week, the 21st September this year. We celebrated with our colleagues and friends from Africa, French-African friendship, and together our fight for peace building, which is not very simple. As you know, Gandhi said that there is no way to the peace. The peace is the way. So it is important that we do not forget this fact. What UNESCO, and I mean UNESCO headquarters and the organization core, does in peace building is very wide. So I will just give you a few ideas of what could be interesting for you together here today. Maybe you have heard of UNESCO Youth Forum. It is the unique place in the world where young people have the opportunity to influence the global agenda. Every 2 years, it is an integral part of the General Conference of UNESCO, and it is the possibility for young people to design programs which will be implemented by the UNESCO General Assembly. So this is really the very unique opportunity to do something in an extremely concrete way. Of course, there is a procedure to select the people who will participate in the UNESCO Youth Forum, and it is under the auspices of the national commissions. So if any of you are interested in this kind of program, you should contact your national commission to UNESCO. Every country members have them, and I think, view the list that all of you are from those countries, there is a possibility to raise your voice, which is quite significant, as you see. It's a kind of training where young people are invited to identify peace-building problems in their community. Then they can propose the practical implementable action plan, and they will be given some means in order to act. So if their implementation is real, they will get the certificate of the official UNESCO Youth Peace Ambassadors. About an initiative which concerns me personally, because I'm involved in this project, and it is all about an edition I'm directing currently, edition about the popularization of science and peace building through science. This is something which is quite original, and I haven't really saw this often. But basically, the project consists of the legacy of Nikola Tesla. For those who are not aware of Nikola Tesla's legacy, Nikola Tesla is a Serbian-American inventor who lived in the 19th and 20th century, whose work is inscribed in UNESCO Memory of the World Heritage, and which gives to Serbia the legacy, as it was a country who nominated this patrimony, to be the country with the largest scientific patrimony in this UNESCO register. So Nikola Tesla was quite a genius scientific inventor and electrical engineer, and Tesla dedicated extremely to peace building. He had an idea of communicating freely about the free energy, some concepts which are quite abused. If you make some research through internet, you will find many data which are not quite correct about Nikola Tesla, but if we just focus on UNESCO sources as well as the scientific sources, we can find that UNESCO described Tesla as a man who influenced strongly our civilization. My grandmother often was telling me that it was such a burden when they didn't have a washing machine, for instance. This is a very concrete moment. And she told me once, you know, the man who invented the washing machine should be given a medal. And I said, but Grandma, it was Tesla, you know, because it's a rotating magnetic field. So on a daily basis, many things from electricity we use today to the half of industry we benefit from, to radars or robotic, was invented or conducted to be invented by Nikola Tesla. What was very interesting for my fellow colleagues from Sorbonne University, dedicated to UNESCO, and myself, was the peace-building effort of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was extremely concrete in his deeds. He was not one of those people who talked much. He really acted much, and he proposed a very unique means of peace building. It was a way of making peace ray and a shield for each and every country, whatever its size was, to be protected for the other greater, in terms of size, forces. Therefore, this was a great inspiration for us. And Nikola Tesla had accomplished the plan for this kind of invention. This is why his autobiographer, John O'Neill, wrote that Tesla proposed the peace-building offer to the world, but his offer was refused. I will not enter in commenting this phrase, but I think it speaks for itself. So what are we doing now with this legacy of Nikola Tesla? For several years, I'm directing at Sorbonne University a project which we call the Tesla Memory Project, which has a team of about 10 persons and much more associates. Around the world, we give lectures about Tesla from, of course, Sorbonne and French institutions, Cambridge, Oxford, UNESCO headquarters, Council of Europe, etc. In Serbia, we have quite a lot of programs implemented as well, as the Tesla Festival of Science, many lectures, many different projects. So today we are writing a book about Tesla. Actually, it is a compilation of many articles which shows how Tesla was a peace builder, how he was innovator, and why he would be the great inspiration for youth. And ultimately, the aim of the book is to include more Nikola Tesla in education and to serve as an example for youth to come. Now we are finishing the articles, and very soon, within a few months, we will present the book normally at Harvard University, and the book will not be for sale, as Tesla's effort was free and to free humankind from birth. Our book is free as well, and also it will be distributed through internet portals.
Okay, dear Professor, ladies and gentlemen, I'll put and to leave the discussion, what is the exactly role of the young generation in the Balkans? I would say to be an active economic diplomat, to promote and make a brand of a country, and to overcome all these regional challenges. Thank you.
Just to say a few words, what is exactly human security, because it is not just considered in some typical and traditional way as a kind of military balance in the Balkan. It is more wide concept. The United Nations Development Program in 1994 in some way established and issued that new human security concept, and with the main aim to widen human security from the military basis and peace to the food security, economic security, health security, so all aspects of the security in relation to an individual. The main aim was just to concentrate at micro level and people's experience. I think that it would be good to make an example in my concrete example. I would like to say that, for example, during my life here in Serbia, I could speak about personal security, and my general experience is very negative. And I think that in general my generation is like that. For example, when I was about 7 years old, there were some conflicts in Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia. After that, about 12 years old, there were NATO bombings. And after that, when I was about 16 years old, the Prime Minister was killed. So at the moment the country is in the state of disintegration, so it's a very negative picture and very negative conditions for living, especially for youngs. I hope that I managed in some way to describe how I feel about my personal security here within the Serbia, and I mean that it's very similar situation in the Balkans generally, because we are very interrelated. When we are tackling youngs in the Balkans, I would like also to add that there is a new general, global problem about aging. People are living longer and longer. And my personal experience shows that we have the people who, for example, are in pension, they still continue working, not stopping, and the young people does not have the opportunity to start working, because those people who are very well integrated within the institution organizations does not allow young people in some way to promote itself, and I consider it is a very big problem on a general level. I've heard that representatives of the Ministry of Youth and Sport are here, so I was one of the students who had their own scholarships, and I would like just to thank to them. But at the same time, I would like just to suggest that maybe apart from giving that kind of scholarship, just they should initiate kind of employment program. The part of the budget maybe should be shared for that kind of employment program, not just for the scholarship, because there is a very big problem in relation to employment within the youngs. So I just wanted to be short, and I will be there for the discussion, so that's it for me. Thank you.
I think this, working. Dear Professor Chairman, hello. Thank you. I'm the first, must say that my name is some mistake in the program. My name is Marijana Maria, and I'm not from National Democratic Institute. I am for Euro Atlantic Council of Macedonia. Some mistake, but it's okay. I would like today to speak about the new challenges abound in the area with diplomacy and what really happened in the diplomacy process, and especially here in the Balkan. I have similar proposal with my colleagues about the new challenges, but I would like to share my experience, because last year I'm back for Mediterranean Academy of the Malta. And I would like to speak the first that what is the new challenges for the young diplomats. I know that we have the complicated policy here in the Balkan, and I will start that today we're living in the area where we have the one global society, and we have the worldwide problem, economic crisis, security problem, war, war, where we have the 3 words. Globalization, because we were living in one global society. Integration, because all the government made a different reform strategies, integrated more the process, how to be good for all society, or how we want to be part of the European Union, but we must respect the moral rules in directions of the regulation. The next is cooperation, because if you like to be integrated in some of the process, it need to be more. We have the more cooperation with most power government, most powerful government institution, and the most powerful international relation like EU and NATO, United Nations. But for one same goal, that for all Balkan countries, that they must work together for the civil society, in the spirit of the cohesion and solidarity. We would like to have the one region when you have the stabilization, democratic, economic, social and cultural process. We would like to have one open, pluralistic society when the human rights and the fundamental freedoms are more respected in some society. But especially I would like to say more about what really happened in the 21st century in the red diplomacy, because we have the more effective challenges and the new trends. There was the popular the model in the US government, because use one of the most power tool, this is the public diplomacy. When the government spend the more money and the more funds for diplomacy policy, and it's normal. They have the big result of that. I would like to speak what really one Mrs. Lieberman say for the public diplomacy. She said that the public diplomacy practicing the harmony with traditional diplomacy will enable the United States to advance to interest, protect and security, and continue to provide moral basics for their own leadership in the world. But it is virtual for a country and in development, because they not only have to put across their foreign policy issues to in the public, but also build a positive image of the country, where before the freedom of the media and the fair reporting, transparent decisions are more exciting and not excited in some society. But a lot of countries, especially the countries of the Balkan, like to use this plan for public diplomacy. And one of the big challenges especially for the young policy in my country, and I hope in the country in the Balkan, is the new trends in the public diplomacy. Why the public diplomacy is so popular, and why so more power tools? Because especially the young diplomats, use the trends of the new technologies, and now tools is the social media. But when you speak what social media, not mean use the Facebook, because I know that the Facebook is most popular in the Balkan, but for social media now is the link and Google Plus, the Twitter, Pinterest, everything. In the fact that the public diplomacy is smart, strategic and cost effective, and it move in this reason, the EU Union in the 2009 funded and creation one European External Action Service. This is the body service integration EU diplomatic corps, and the bring together diplomatic instruments, the public diplomacy program, economic and the political action. And the other side, the EU, especially the European Union, use the public diplomacy for internal image among the all citizens, and to integrate diversity in the fresh public ideas for the European cohesion, promote the consultation, good society, communication, and the best society. But the questions for all countries, especially for the Balkan, is what is the best tool own government and how to make the management the new trends in the diplomacy. The big part of the answer is all the government and the influence on the own government in some public diplomacy. Especially, I mean, I would like to first speak about my country, because Macedonia, about the last report of the European Commission, and again we have the one recommendation for the membership. We have really a lot of problems. I suppose all the Balkan countries have a lot of problems, especially for many issues. But for my government, we have the more problems, especially foreign affairs. But I not speak about the politics. I speak what, especially for the young people who living in my country. Now we're working, and it will be the first step in the first project when the young people of Macedonia be more involvement in the foreign policy. We make one project where more the students, the future masters, participate in the new model, especially the model of the UN, the United Nations model for a public diplomacy. I hope that the project will be so successful, and I hope that we will help the more positive results. We will try to make more changes about that. The first, we will make one project when all Macedonian diplomats have that high level of the training and simulation of more professional professors, training professors on the university around the world, and all young people and the future masters and the future diplomats every time going in the diplomacy and listening and participating in this teaching. About the trends, about the trend, especially in diplomacy, not just the public diplomacy. Now is here the cultural diplomacy and economic in commercial diplomacy. I mean that we in the Balkan, we have the really fighting about in the area, the economic and the commercial diplomacy, because my country and all countries in the Balkan organize more road trips, road shows, when we make the plans, how to have the more investors in all country, and how to, my country in the Balkan is a good place for the business.
Well, maybe you can hear me because this seems not to work. Anyway, it could be that if there is any other mic open, maybe that's it.
This one is good.
Ah, yeah. Okay, then I will go there. Yeah. Hello again. Well, thank you very much. I think it was a very interesting presentation and a very good conclusion. That's quite okay.